What a driver this guy is. I mean, what can you say? He's only 23 and he just doesn't fear anybody or anything.
In the world of Formula One, where drama fuels the narrative, one man stood apart, not for his antics, but for his silence.
Oh, nice to meet you. Exciting.
Kimi Räikkönen, the Iceman, raced to his own rhythm, defying conventions and carving a legacy as one of the sport's most enigmatic figures.
I'd have to go tighter than that. Oh, and they nearly touch. Can Räikkönen sweep in? Yeah! Brilliant!
What a brilliant move!
Oh no! How did Räikkönen keep that on the road?
And that was incredibly brave.
As Mika Häkkinen once said, if you want to win, get the fin.
Kimi Räikkönen is in another league right now.
Collecting 21 victories and 103 podiums over 349 starts. But what made him so special? Why did fans adore a man who rarely spoke and barely smiled?
Are you pleased with your race, or could there have been any more?
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
Look at this, Räikkönen and Schumacher inches apart coming through the centre S's.
This is the story of Kimi Räikkönen, the driver who changed Formula One forever. 2001, Melbourne, Australia. Minutes before his Formula One debut, the paddock was buzzing. Drivers gave interviews, mingled with sponsors, and soaked in the atmosphere. Meanwhile, Kimi Räikkönen, he was asleep. This nonchalance wasn't arrogance, it was Kimi being Kimi. But how did a rookie with only 23 car races under his belt even get here? Let's find out. In the late 1990s, while most drivers clawed their way up the motorsport ladder, Kimi took the fast track. Starting his racing journey at just 10 years old, Kimi swiftly climbed the ranks with a series of triumphs in Finnish, Nordic, and European karting. When he transitioned to car racing, he wasted no time making an impact, securing 2 British Formula Renault championships in quick succession.
Strut around now with the confidence he has and the self-belief that he will go to Formula One. There's no doubt about that.
By 2000, his performances caught the attention of Peter Sauber, owner of the Sauber Formula One team. At just 20 years old, Kimi was invited to test at Mugello. It was a leap of faith. He had minimal experience. But what he lacked in experience, he made up for in raw talent.
Martin, this is incredible. Kimi Räikkönen is out on the track in the Sauber. He's not only out in the Sauber, but he has made the fastest first sector of all. He's very, very quick in the second sector, and there is the fin. 21-year-old Kimi Räikkönen, the most astonishingly calm and mature man. He's another
Kimi lapped half a second faster than Pedro Diniz, Sauber's full-time driver. It was a jaw-dropping performance. In 2001, Kimi debuted at the Australian Grand Prix, finishing 6th and scoring a championship point.
Further back, the stars of the future fight for 10th position. Kimi Räikkönen displays skills beyond his experience and takes Jenson Button.
It wasn't just impressive, it was historic. Over the season, he scored points in 4 races, proving he wasn't a fluke. His icy composure and speed caught the attention of McLaren. By 2002, Kimi was driving for one of F1's most prestigious teams. Kimi's time at McLaren was a masterclass in perseverance. In 2005, his car was fast but notoriously unreliable. Engines failed, hydraulics broke, and driveshafts snapped. But through it all, Kimi never wavered.
You'll have to go tighter than that. Oh, and they nearly touch. Can Räikkönen sweep in? Yes, he can. Brilliant.
What a a brilliant move! Side by side down the straight. Grand Prix racing at its absolute finest. Kimi Räikkönen sweeps through to take the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix.
He came agonisingly close to the championship in 2003, only to be let down by mechanical failures. Lesser drivers would have crumbled, but Kimi's resilience became his hallmark. He raced with quiet determination, proving that speed wasn't his only asset. His mental strength was unparalleled.
Good, and to risk going past two cars, and there he goes straight around the outside, and had a look at the Ferrari too. Stunning and brave first lap from Räikkönen.
Kimi's on-track brilliance was matched by his off-track persona. He hated interviews, avoided PR stunts, and gave hilariously blunt answers to journalists.
You missed the presentation by Pele. Yeah. Will you get over it?
Yeah, I was having...
But off the track, Kimi was wild, a man who lived life on his own terms. This duality made him a fan favourite. He wasn't a manufactured F1 star. He was authentic, relatable, and refreshingly unpolished. Kimi didn't play the game, he rewrote it.
Lap 51, and the man who was in second place, Kimi Räikkönen, is pulling off the racetrack. There is Kimi Räikkönen. He's not even gone back to the paddock. He's got his shirt off. He's on his boat, which has a splendid name, One More Toy.
In 2007, Kimi Räikkönen joined Ferrari, stepping into the massive shoes of seven-time world champion Michael Schumacher. Hired for a reported $41 million a year, Räikkönen's laid-back style and focus on pure racing contrasted sharply with Schumacher's legendary work ethic.
Quick chat, Kimi. You got 2 minutes, yeah? It's 2 minutes left, promise you.
A week before his Ferrari debut, Kimi was in Finland, winning a treacherous snowmobile race under the alias James Hunt. He later used the same pseudonym in a powerboat race, this time dressed in a gorilla suit, explaining that it was his way of countering the media's obsession with his personal life while paying homage to his racing idol.
This is quite exciting, isn't it?
Depends who you ask.
But Kimi didn't let expectations faze him. He got off to a flying start, winning his first race with the team.
By just finding that grip around the outside, now he brings himself into play.
The 2007 championship wasn't just about skill or luck, it was about destiny. For Kimi Räikkönen, this was more than a race. It was a culmination of a lifetime of perseverance, sacrifice, and an unyielding desire to win.
Räikkönen is trying to do here what the man he replaced at Ferrari, Michael Schumacher, did to everybody at the 96 Spanish Grand Prix, if you remember that one, where he was in a different race from everyone else. It seemed that he had a dry track and they had a wet one. At one point he was over a minute clear. It looks like Räikkönen's having one of those kind of days. He's already passed, I think, 9 or 10 cars in this Grand Prix.
Born into humble beginnings in Espoo, Finland, Kimi's journey to the top was anything but easy. His family lived in modest conditions, with his father Matti working as a mechanic, and his mother Paula juggling cleaning jobs to support the family. Despite their struggles, they poured everything they had into Kimi's dream, even selling their belongings to fund his karting career. Kimi himself showed his relentless determination at just 10 years old, racing with a broken steering wheel, and later continuing mid-race after it snapped off entirely. That grit defined him, pushing him to succeed not just for himself, but to honor the sacrifices his parents made. As Kimi approached the final race of the 2007 season at Interlagos, those roots fueled his drive. He was third in the standings, trailing Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. To win the championship, everything needed to align perfectly: his performance, his team strategy, and a stroke of luck. The odds were steep, but Kimi's laser focus, forged through years of overcoming adversity, gave him the edge. And then, the unthinkable happened. Kimi drove a flawless race, seizing the lead while his rivals faltered under pressure.
Absolute finest! Kimi Räikkönen sweeps through to take the lead. Kimi Räikkönen wins the Brazilian Grand Prix.
By my calculations, we win the championship by 1 point.
He clinched the championship by a single point. In true Kimi fashion, his celebration was understated.
I think so corner forward and he went off and I knew that maybe we have some chance now, and it was a perfect teamwork from the team, and it paid off very well. He's not only been in this race but the whole year, so thanks for everybody.
After the win, he famously said, "I'm very happy. I came from pretty much nothing, but my family, friends and sponsors helped me get here. People will probably look at me differently and make up more stories about me, but I'm going to lead my life as I want, and that's it." The final race of an F1 season deciding the world champion is a rare and electrifying spectacle, where years of sacrifice and skill come down to a single moment. Kimi Räikkönen's triumph in 2007 mirrored this intensity, just as Nico Rosberg's unforgettable 2016 championship, etched in history with its own nail-biting finale. At the end of 2009, Kimi Räikkönen's interest in Formula One had waned. Despite winning the championship just 2 years earlier, his results with Ferrari had tapered off. To make way for Fernando Alonso, Ferrari bought out the final year of Kimi's contract in a lucrative deal.
I mean, like everybody has probably read it already. I have no bad feelings. I achieved something what I wanted, and now it's time to do something else.
With time on his hands, Kimi turned to the World Rally Championship, where he entered himself for 2 seasons. Yet the allure of Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsports, was impossible to replace. Kimi returned to F1 in 2012, joining the Lotus F1 team. His comeback was nothing short of remarkable.
Also joining in that battle is now wheel to wheel to Resta and Räikkönen side by side going through turn 7. Look at this, Räikkönen and Schumacher inches apart going through the centre S's. I think they might have just touched. How they didn't completely come to grief, heaven only knows, but 8 world titles between them. They're not bad drivers, really, are they? That was absolutely sensational. Räikkönen hanging on in there, and it's worth the while for him as Kimi Räikkönen moves up into 8th place. Brilliant driving.
He finished 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, completed all 20 races, and secured a memorable victory in Abu Dhabi.
At the start, a slow getaway from Webber gave Räikkönen a chance to move up to 6th.
It was here that the famously stoic Finn delivered an iconic line to his frantic race engineer.
Okay, Kimi, next guy behind you is Alonso. Alonso 5 seconds behind you.
Just let me alone, I know what to do.
The phrase entered F1 folklore, embodying Kimi's no-nonsense attitude and confidence. In 2013, Kimi won the season's opening race and collected 6 podium finishes, ending the year in 5th place despite missing 2 races due to a back injury. True to form, he surprised the paddock by announcing his departure from Lotus to return to Ferrari in 2014. Kimi's second stint with Ferrari began with challenges. He struggled to adapt to the car's handling and was overshadowed by teammates Fernando Alonso and later Sebastian Vettel.
Kimi, did you have any temptation to go to drive the simulator to get better settings for you?
No.
Despite critics labeling his performances as lackluster, Ferrari retained him, valuing his experience and team spirit.
Halfway of the season, which is your highlight of this season so far?
I don't think there is any.
By 2018, Kimi proved his resilience. He scored 12 podiums, including a long-awaited victory at the US Grand Prix, his first win in over 5 years. This achievement cemented his reputation as Ferrari's most recent world champion.
38, 39?
9.
39, so
Next year 40, so.
yeah.
I invite you to the party.
It's good. How about getting an invite for the 40th?
No, we can call.
Yeah.
2019, Kimi signed with Alfa Romeo Racing, formerly Sauber, the team where his F1 journey began. Now the oldest driver on the grid, he embraced the role of team leader, scoring most of the team's points and inspiring the next generation of drivers. The more mature Kimi, now a family man with wife Mintu and their 2 children, balanced racing with his private life, finding fulfillment both on and off the track.
He's asking them where they're going.
Kimi does not want to be walking if he can't help it.
After a record 349 starts, Kimi announced his retirement at the end of the 2021 season.
Honestly, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to the normal life that we know from outside of the race weekends. Always at home and spend time with family.
Even in his final year, he scored vital points for Alfa Romeo, showing flashes of the talent that made him a legend. His career, spanning nearly 2 decades, included 21 wins, 103 podiums, 18 poles, and the coveted 2007 World Championship.
We'll see afterwards, but yeah, it's nice too that it comes to the end. And thanks to everybody and all the other drivers and everybody. Thank you.
Kimi Räikkönen left the sport on his own terms, uncomplicated, unwavering, and true to himself. His influence is visible today. Drivers like Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas have embraced Kimi's no-nonsense approach. He proved that being true to yourself is the ultimate strength. The Iceman may have left the grid, but his legacy is here to stay, and that's why he'll always be a legend.
Can you name something that you will miss about Kimi next year?
Silence.
Short meetings from my side.